right, welcome back everybody for our full day here at the AWS End User Computing Innovation Day, our inaugural event for this category, information share of a day. We're here today talking to you about how you can be building the ideal architect for your remote and hybrid work. And so far we've had such a jam-packed day, kicking it off with our GM of the service telling us about a handful of launches. The Ubuntu for Amazon WorkSpaces was at the top of the hour. And of course, we've mentioned this before, but you can definitely get started with that service with our free tier offering and make sure to explore what the Ubuntu for Amazon WorkSpaces is going to do for you. We, of course, also, excuse me, had a second launch there that we were so excited about from our WorkSpaces Core offering. And of course, that's extending our Amazon WorkSpaces family offering of services. So such a jam-packed day today. We really welcome everybody back from our small break. What a day we've had. Man,
what a day. We've already had a ton of content. We've talked about a lot of these things that Holly talked about. We're going to spend this afternoon diving really deep. And we're excited to show you a little bit more about how you're actually going to use these services in practice and what's kind of under the covers. And so that's what we're about. We've got 3 more sessions today. We would love for you to stick around with us, engage with us on the chat, send us questions. We're going to bring the questions into the room, and we'll just talk with some of our subject matter experts. But if you really want to deep dive with the subject matter experts, remember about the AWS reInvent conference in Las Vegas that's coming up at the end of November. We've got 18 sessions on end user computing there. We're going to have a great party there. We would encourage you to all sign up for that. If you're not coming to reInvent already, sign up for reInvent. If you've already got your ticket, there will be links in the chat, and there will be links all over the place to show you exactly which sessions those are and how to get signed up for our party on Wednesday night at reInvent. So please take action on those things. Jump in. We'd love to meet you in person at the end of November.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, today we've covered so much on our thought leadership topics, but this afternoon is all about the tech, and we want to dive deep into the technology. So with that, we've got one of our principal partners, solution architects, joining us on the AWS EUC service team, Andrew Kloman, who's going to, again, like we said, dive deep into the technical aspects of WorkSpaces Core, the launch that we had earlier this morning. So Andrew, welcome to this event that we're hosting here on online live stream across Twitch and LinkedIn. So happy that you're here with us today.
Thanks.
And yeah, over to you to help us dive even more into WorkSpaces Core.
Awesome. Thanks, Holly. Thanks, Robbie. Yeah, so really excited to get into this session. Excited to really get into the technical parts of this the conversation here. We've been working really hard to get this service launched and ready for our customers and our partners. So yeah, I'm Andrew Kloman, AWS EUC services team, and we'll go ahead and kick things off here. So I'll first get into what is Amazon WorkSpaces Core, so a little bit more information about that, why we built this. I'll get into some architectural models, some designs of how partners and customers can make use of this service, some workflows and some lifecycle management that would be common for a lot of customers and partners, just some examples around that. And then from there, we can get into any questions that we may have, so feel free to put those into the chat. So Amazon WorkSpaces Core enables customers and partners to build customized VDI solutions using purpose-built compute instances optimized for virtual desktops. The big thing here that I like about that sentence is really Amazon WorkSpaces Core for builders, right? This is a solution where customers or partners are able to make use of the benefits of Amazon WorkSpaces and build that into things like their own business logic, business workflows that they may have. That API-driven solutions where AWS and Amazon customers are just very familiar with, right? Being able to build on top of what they already have and have that integrated, in this case, with the desktop. From a partner perspective, being able to leverage partner solutions to integrate their solutions with our APIs, making it so customers may have an experience where it's a single pane of glass, where if a partner like VMware, who's been on stage with us today, can create an interface that integrates with the service, and you never really need to leave that console. You never need to change your clients out. It's all consistent from an administrator as well as an end user perspective. So that API-driven part is awesome. That's really for builders, right? I'm really excited about that. We've also tried to make this as simple as possible. So being able to quickly deploy and scale these solutions on Amazon Workspaces and our global managed infrastructure, but also make that simple enough that someone that may not be familiar with AWS can make use of this very easily as well. So our curated machine choices for desktop user personas make it easier and faster to get started. There's something like over 500 different EC2 instance types that are available. That may be pretty confusing for someone that may not be familiar with AWS. Again, we're making this easy for someone that may be in the EUC space for a very long time, that may not be familiar with AWS, and making this easy for them. And the final column here on the right, optimizing spend. No upfront costs, pay as you go, fixed rate monthly prices, as well as the ability to start and stop and hibernate these VMs with our new manual running mode that I'll get into some more details here. The big thing here, again, for builders, making it simple, API-driven, and optimizing the spend for the business. So you may have seen this slide a couple times if you've been watching throughout today and throughout our event today. What I like to say about this slide is really the journey that customers or partners may be on. Kevin Goodman earlier today had a little piece about the dinosaurs, the original VDI, right? The original desktop management back in the day. Hopefully we've all kind of progressed from that, and we've seen the value of moving to VDI solutions, and maybe they're on-prem, and really moving then to AWS and what the benefits of AWS have been. Some customers have moved to Amazon Workspaces and seen the advantage of the fully managed scale on demand pay-as-you-go services that they have. But there's some customers that are kind of in the middle there, right? Where they want to make use of the benefits of AWS. They want to make use of the higher level of managed services that Amazon Workspaces provides. But there are features in third-party solutions or even customer solutions that they require for their business. That could be a multitude of different things, from different endpoints that are supported, or protocol enhancements, real-time communications capabilities, whatever that may be. So we want to fit our solutions to where the customer is in their journey and be able to support them any way we possibly can. So Amazon Workspaces Core is really this piece of the journey that we see a lot of customers going towards. This slide's also another one you may have seen throughout the day. What I really want to focus on is this kind of an eye chart, right? Kevin Goodman had said earlier, if you can see the VDI control plane, install, and admin, right in that green section there, right? Amazon Workspaces Core. What's the responsibilities that are being opened up from Amazon Workspaces so that VDI vendors and customers are able to manipulate that part of this whole story? Things like registering the desktop into a broker or a control plane, the ability to do that, the ability to provision out desktops, scale those up and down as they see fit, the ability to bring your own protocol, and the advantages of any one of those protocols may have within their differentiators, right? Along with that, gateway services. So how does that pixel streaming go between that virtual desktop all the way down to the endpoint? Advantages behind that from a multitude of different vendors, right? So opening up that piece really opens up this whole story that we have here of the family of different solutions that we have really at Amazon Workspaces to really fit the need of our customers and partners. And that's really where I want to go into with some of these architectural diagrams in the next couple slides here. VMware Horizon with Amazon Workspaces, announced earlier today. Really excited about this collaboration that we have going on between the two organizations. Here, if you're familiar with VMware Horizon, using the same cloud pod architecture, you can have a virtual machine on-prem managed by your connection servers or your UAGs, Unified Access Gateways, and then also have a machine inside of Amazon Workspaces in the same cloud pod. So the end user never knows the difference between if they're accessing something on-prem or within Amazon Workspaces in AWS. In this architectural model, you can see that the connection servers and the UAGs are deployed within AWS, and that is possible. You can actually also still deploy those on-prem and manage the environment from an on-prem environment too. Depends on how you want to be architected. I like this style a little bit better simply because if there is a failover that's necessary, or if your on-prem site does go completely down, you have the connection servers and UAGs set up within AWS. But again, super excited about this collaboration and where the future of work can go with this solution. I'm super excited about it. Looking into this from more of a AWS lens, from an architectural diagram perspective, just at a high level here, right? So on the right hand, anyone, anywhere, any device, and kind of any protocol, right? We're able to have those endpoint devices connect into, in this case, a customer-managed VPC, where the control plane and gateway services reside, and that's a customer-managed side of the solution. Being able to then have that access into Amazon Workspaces Core and the partner solutions agent being on that instance, customers are able to access that desktop and enjoy the additional management benefits and cost benefits that we're providing with Amazon Workspaces Core. Amazon AWS managed Microsoft Active Directory or AD connectors are required in this environment. So identity is really going back to the Active Directory there. How a customer initially connects is they come into that gateway. The control plane gives them access to whatever desktop resources they may have, using Active Directory as that source of truth for the identity. The gateway then hands off and connects the end user's desktop to that Amazon Workspaces Core desktop so that they can access that desktop freely and as much as they'd like to there. This next architectural diagram goes into a little bit more of theoreticals here, but a partner cloud service comes into play, where some of these components, and maybe not all of them, can reside within that partner cloud service. So you see here in the customer managed VPC area, we've reduced down a lot of those customer managed components and turned them into a cloud service. In this kind of architectural diagram, we're looking at a partner solution doing an assume role into a customer's account and being able to manage and monitor and operate that customer-owned AWS account. The control plane, gateway services, security, monitoring, partner solutions can do a whole bunch of things, have a whole bunch of different capabilities. So there's a lot of opportunity there for partners to show additional value on top of this stack here, right? Communication flow also is a little bit different here. From a perspective of the user connecting in, maybe that gateway service is hosted by that cloud service. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is still in that customer managed environment. That's still possible. But maybe some of the automation around this has been moved over to the partner's cloud service. From that, getting into the environment, they could potentially go through the customer managed VPC. They could go, in some cases, directly to that Amazon managed VPC and that pixel streaming being provided from that service. Active Directory today is still required, so that is a part of this solution. But another architectural diagram that kind of shows the different options that customers have here. The final one really is kind of sky's the limit, right? From the perspective of what is possible, it's kind of anything, right? The control plane, gateway, databases, any of that being in a partner-owned environment, and maybe even the partner owns the Amazon Workspaces Core instances in this case. This option is highly customizable, but still a valid solution for Amazon Core use cases. In this environment, this is maybe moving towards a more managed service and more of a MSP or a consulting services kind of practice from more of what we've defined as partner previously as ISVs or these technology vendors. But this is another architectural diagram, another style that customers can enjoy with this service. So how do you get started? These 5 simple steps can get you going, and if you're familiar with Amazon Workspaces, it's a pretty similar situation here. First, you want to connect into the customer's AWS account. You can do that with an assume role or with a secret and access keys. Basically, getting access securely into that customer's environment. From then, you need to make sure that we're communicating with the identity source, right, and the Active Directory that's set up for this environment. So we have an API publicly available today for registering a directory with Amazon Workspaces. The next step here, importing the image, is really kind of where the start of Amazon Workspaces Core comes into play. So importing your image, it be Windows 10 as this example, or Server 2016 or Server 2019, bringing your own license for that, bringing your own image for that, needs to be enabled within your account, and some verifications from, say, Windows licensing. But once that's enabled, we then have bring your own protocol. That also needs to be enabled within your customer account today. But when that is, you're able to use these new ingestion patterns to import the image as a bring your own license, bring your own protocol image. You can do that with a regular or graphics instances. But that's really where things kick off with Amazon Workspaces Core. We've designated this as a partner solution. When we do this import process, we're not importing, say, our streaming protocol agents. We are looking at this instance as a partner-owned or customer-owned, really managed from the brokering and gateway services and mapping users to desktop resources. That is all handled on the partner or customer side. So once you get that import completed, then it's to deploy the desktops. And this is a very common Amazon Workspaces open API to be able to do this, right? First, you create your bundle. If you're not familiar with the bundle, it's a combination of custom image and the underlying compute and storage configuration. From there, you launch the Amazon Workspace. So the idea here is when you launch this, you actually have a new running mode for partner managed solutions. So if you are looking to do something like hourly, we provide a manual running mode where that running mode can be manipulated to start and stop that instance as you see fit. So that's an API that's available there. If you want monthly, that's totally fine as well. That's a great use case for a lot of our customers. And that running mode is still available for customers. Once that desktop is launched, we're then moving into the lifecycle of those desktops. So being able to maybe change those running modes I just talked about. Maybe you need more or less storage. Maybe you need to change that compute type, or generally just kind of optimize the costs around this desktop. That's all available to you. Being able to build or restore these desktops and those capabilities that, if you're familiar with Amazon Workspaces, have been around for some time. And then again, the full life cycle of this, right? At the end of the day, you might need to terminate that desktop. Those are all things that we have API driven so that our partners and customers can manipulate this environment as they see fit, but still have the advantages of the cost savings and the additional management that we provide. So simple to get started there. Diving in a little bit further, so these are the exact APIs that we've updated to support Amazon Workspaces Core. That import Workspaces image, being able to have the new ingestion models in kind of bold there. being able to create a new workspace with this new manual running mode. And then the last 4 here are really ones around being able to describe or modify the environment as you see fit, and really just having that manual running mode available within these additional APIs. Showing here, this is the exact CLI that you'd be using to import your image. As you see here, you have your previously imported to EC2 as an AMI, say Windows 10 or whatever, or Server 2016 or 2019 images as an AMI. You have that identified. Your ingestion process I have here is the BYOL graphics G4DN BYOP. I give the image a name, so WorkSpaces Core, 1 GPU. And then there we go with the image ID. So that's off and running and importing into the environment. The next is actually then creating the desktop, right? And this is the manual running mode command for that, where I identify the directory, I identify a user in that directory, and the bundle that I want to be using for that. Again, once this is this command's run, give it about 10 minutes to get started, and you're off and running with this new desktop. So it couldn't be any more simple, from my opinion. There's a great deal of documentation that we have around this. This could be made available in the chat or afterwards here. These are all publicly accessible links, so a lot to dive into for documentation. And that kind of wraps things up. So thanks for your time today. Really excited about this new service and our future collaborations with our partners. This is super exciting for me, and really looking forward to getting this kickstarted.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Andrew.
Yeah.
And he was about to tell you. Give us your feedback. Just like all the other sessions, we love to have your feedback on every session, just to help us know what resonated with you, what you think we could do better. Also, let us know in the chat. Tell us what you think about the content, what you'd like to learn more. We're always looking for ways to improve these sessions. And Andrew, I wanted to just toss a couple of questions out there too.
Sure thing.
One of the ones that we get pretty consistently whenever we introduce something like this is something like WorkSpaces Core. Does it integrate with my directory services? Does it integrate with Active Directory particularly?
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Amazon WorkSpaces Core works with Active Directory. You can do that with our AWS managed Active Directory service. And you can, from that service, even do a trust into your existing Active Directory environment. Or if you wanted to extend your Active Directory that you may already have today, you can use the AD connector feature to extend your Active Directory into AWS and these desktops.
Great.
That's really cool. Another question that I'd like to throw your way is actually about the billing. We are very conscious about AWS's flexible billing, and we want to make sure that it's going to accommodate the use cases that are needed at the time, but also not necessarily overcharge or pay anything that's not necessary. So that's something that AWS does really well, is that flexible pay-as-you-go pricing. So with this solution, are we able to support kind of that hourly billing that's going to satisfy some of those use cases?
Absolutely, yeah. We have the manual running mode that provides customers to manipulate the environment and have that hourly based billing as they see fit, as well as a more monthly style of always on as a running mode to support those customers that may be in the environment for much longer than just a couple of hours a month. So that's there. Another point I wanted to add on to there too is that because we're not providing the protocol and we're not providing a couple of these things, we're peeling that back a little bit. There is some cost advantages with Amazon Workspaces from a overall perspective compared to say other solutions, but some exciting pieces around that, and that optimizing the spend is definitely one of the key tenets to the solution.
Well, I just love this slide that we share with kind of the full lineup of our services, and you see that progression where WorkSpaces Core is sitting is really showing you that we AWS are taking a lot of that management in-house for our users of the Amazon WorkSpaces Core offering. And then you have those few items that, again, either your partner can help you manage or you yourself can decide to manage. But where we are really trying to win is taking some of that burden off of those IT admins, off of the builders. So again, you're able to do more. And that slide for me is just a really great progression on where we saw that opportunity with WorkSpaces Core and made sure that we solved for that solution and made it easier for our builders. So that for me is a big slide where I'm like, that's a huge opportunity to win back some time and maybe get into some of those bigger projects and aspirations that I'm sure our builder audiences out there are really eager to get to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Optimizing the spend, optimizing for APIs and those builders, and optimizing so this is as simple as possible.
Yeah.
Key tenets.
Yeah,
Cool.
and it's really all about that flexibility and choice, right? It's about not telling customers what they need to do, but enabling them. And so like that's really what we're trying to do with WorkSpaces Core, with WorkSpaces Web, with AppStream, all of these different services, give customers the ability to choose which one of those fits their use case the best, and how much of the stack they want to manage themselves.
Yeah.
So I think that's really key, and that's really what we're all about within EUC, is about providing customers flexibility and choice, because every environment is a little bit different. So, Andrew, thanks so much. We appreciate your time today. Folks, if you want to learn more about these different offerings, there will be links in the chat. Again, join us at AWS reInvent or watch on AWS On Air. You'll see some of the session content from the EUC track at reInvent here as well. And we're going to take just a couple of minutes break, and we're going to bring some folks in to look at some of the other things that we've talked about today, particularly how we're focusing on empowering builders with the EUC portfolio at AWS.